Anybody else need to see this real quick? All done? Okay.
Sue.
Call the meeting to order. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd entertain motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to
Well,
approve.
we have to amend it,
Oh,
Mayor. I would move we need to amend the agenda down on item number 7.
Number 8.
Or number 8, the resolution on, for the application of the grant for the ballpark storm shelter. And the one you have in front of you in your packet is a hazard mitigation grant program. And we need to change it to the BRIC grant program. Everything else would be the same on that. So I would move that amendment to the agenda.
Second.
Discussion?
Okay.
Hearing none, all in favor of amending the agenda as, along with the amendment, just with that amendment, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Approve the minutes from our previous meeting, which is found on pages 1, 2, and 3.
I move to approve the minutes.
Second?
Discussion? Hearing none, motion is made and seconded to approve the minutes from our last meeting. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Public input. Hearing none, we'll proceed to department head reports. And those are found on page 4 through 7. And also, Ted gave you, which is also before you, which is going to be part of the packet, with, for informational purposes, made available. Any questions? Terry, I'll have one. A gentleman asked me about the beacon out the airport. Is the beacon always on, or does it come on? The beacon's always on. Okay. And the runway lights, all that? They come on when it gets dark. When it comes to get dark, okay? Any questions? Okay, we'll move to forward on new business. Homeland Security Grant for a police car computer system. And Ted's here to talk about that grant application.
There's a Homeland Security grant. You can apply for certain things. One of them is some radios, handheld digital radios. And there's a quote in there from Dakota Electronics on those. And the computer system, which I can explain or answer questions. This Homeland Security grant is 100%. There's no match. It's divided up into regions of the state, and I think the region has available $250,000, which includes numerous counties. I don't know how many. We can apply, and they have a meeting, and they decide what to do. And they can also do partial matches, or partial grants. So that computer system totals about $25,000. I guess I would seek some sort of approval that if they call me the day of the meeting saying, we can't give you 25, but we'll give you 20, if there was pre-approval to, I guess, accept that. We don't know how it's gonna go, so.
What's it for?
The computer system, it'd be laptops in the cars. You have the ability to run the driver's license or the license plates from the car. The system has a lot of things built into it. You actually type your reports in the system, you attach video and pictures as evidence. It creates a database of everybody we would deal with. We would be piggybacking off of Huron PD's system, they're the host. And then other agencies piggyback off of it, like the sheriff's office does. All the highway patrol uses the same system, it's called Zerker. It's probably, yeah, I think it is the most popular in South Dakota. I know Aberdeen uses a different one.
Because as of right now, if you want any of that information, you physically have to radio to Huron to get any, and then they run it, and then you call you back with information.
Correct. Some other things, it'd be a lot of information available at our fingertips, you know, searching other different systems that we would have access to. I try to do some of that, but I have to do it from a phone. Not the easiest thing to do on a traffic stop, I guess. Does that kind of explain it?
Kinda.
Okay.
So is it interchangeable from one car to the next?
What we would be doing is 2 laptops, 1 for each car.
Okay.
Another example of using it, I know the sheriff's office is getting a fingerprint machine. If we arrest somebody, it'd be nice to use the machine. Can take the laptop in, type out our PC statement and email it to the judge. Also might help out on mental holds at the hospital. We have to fill out paperwork, email it to David Wheeler. That's hard to do when you're at the hospital.
So it's stuff that you could be doing while they're doing the evaluation. Otherwise, right now, you have to wait for the evaluation to be done and then go down to the,
Yeah, I mean, our computers are at the office.
yep.
Seeing other information available, you can, it has a mapping system and a GPS. You can communicate, you can see what calls sheriff's offices might be working on.
And right now, it's up for 100% grant, you said?
Homeland Security grants 100%. Yep.
Up to 100%, they may award less.
They can award partials, and Arlen is involved in it, and he said when they go to their meeting, you know, they're discussing what's going on. And then if it's partial, they call you, and I'm like, well, how much time do I have? And he's like, you have to decide right then. I'm like, well, that's hard to do when I don't have authority to spend money, so that's why I'm preemptively throwing out that idea.
Yep.
If they're getting close to it, I mean, because ultimately it is a system that I would pursue eventually if we don't get the grant. I mean, I guess we need to be up in the times, or when all the other agencies are on it.
Cindy, is there a number that you'd be okay with that budget of if it isn't a 100% grant, or as of this year?
Well, we've already cut quite a bit from the police department anyway. There's no wiggle room in this year's budget. If you want to supplement from savings, that's an option.
Obviously, it's really easy to
Maybe
say
just-
yes if it's a 100% grant.
Maybe give him up to, like you said, it's gonna cost 25,000.
It was about
When
that.
all's said and done with all the equipment and computers and the system and
Yep,
everything.
so there's the quote for the system, the upfront fee is roughly $16,000. There's an annual fee of $2,500, that's for your licensing use of the software, and that would continue on forever. And then the hardware, the laptops, the mounts to mount them in the patrol car, the power adapter for the cars.
And all of that is grant eligible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So software part of it and the hardware is about 25,000.
Well, it'd be nice to get 100% grant on that.
It would be. I do know there's other counties going for the same thing.
Sure.
I was disappointed when I was told it was only 250,000 for our region. That shrinks pretty quick when you got
Could
5,
we,
6, 8 counties.
Maybe
Is it-
approve
is it-
up to a certain amount if it's a partial.
right, that's what I was talking about, and then if it's anything beyond that, is it one of those deals where you could say, can I just accept one system? You know what I mean? Or is that
Instead of
go
two
against
cars.
the writings of the grant? Where
No, you're saying like do only one laptop.
if they only give you
Right.
50% or whatever, or is
That's
it
an
just,
option.
or are they giving you dollar amount, or are they giving percentage amount? If they award this, that's what I'm wondering is if,
Well, it's dollars because it's a reimbursement.
okay,
So it would be submitting an invoice, we'd get reimbursed for whatever we spent. So
Okay.
if we only purchased one laptop,
right.
I mean, it's an option.
So is it really just the laptop, or is it, so that all this?
It wouldn't cut down on any of the central scare quote.
Okay, all that stuff, that whether you have one laptop
Yeah.
or two, that's all the same.
That's all the same,
Okay.
and that's 16,000, and then
So
for
it's
that
just-
total number includes that annual fee.
So you'd just be cutting off the hardware cost of the computers,
You'd be
all
cutting out one laptop,
bracketry and stuff.
what, I think it was about 3,000, and some brackets, a few
Yeah, the
$100
docking
bucks.
and everything, it'd be about, it looks like 4,000.
Yeah, so is the laptop was 3,200 apiece before any discount,
Yeah.
so. Is there any number people like?
What would 80? What would 80% of that be? $1,000? That's just threw out that number to give you an idea, so if we,
Right.
What number did you say?
80%,
Is
20,000.
20,000.
20?
I mean, that's just something to start with. I mean, if you're interested in, next question is, where are we gonna get the 5,000? No, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be 5,000.
That's the thing, is I think it's probably a good thing, but it's pretty early in the year to already be
Yeah.
supplementing budgets.
But if you apply for it and get 100% funded,
Yeah, wouldn't that be
then
nice?
it's only 2,500 for your annual fee.
Right, then it's 2,500 per year.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, you got that. You got to figure in.
And 2,500 is in this
It's concluded for,
number,
yeah,
right?
yes.
You would get the grant for the grant would cover the subscription for the first year.
That's what I've requested,
Okay, yep.
yep. Because I think that's, totals 18, so I guess for the initial startup cost, it'd be that 18,000 plus that 9, whatever the Baycom quote is. And these are the exact quotes that I submitted on the grant.
But if you have just the 18,000, you're gonna have a computer to make it work, right? To make it do what it's supposed to do?
Yes, there is a desktop, I don't know what you call it, app, I guess, that would be on like office computers. But the whole idea, I guess, is to be in the car to run somebody's license, look at their criminal history, check their driver's history, those things, run their name, run the plates. You get photos when you run someone's name through Zerker. You get their driver's license photo.
Wow.
from other states, including South Dakota.
Go back to this original question, if it came back as such, would it be an option, like we talked about, getting just the one computer, one laptop?
Yeah, that's an option.
Yeah.
And we did or we didn't cut, the equipment budget line item out of the police department?
Yeah, we didn't, so the resolution for, I lost the name for it, the resolution where you save up for 5 years to buy. We didn't put the car in that resolution for this year.
Right, but then there was, other expenses, other equipment. Did we end up cutting that out too, or is that?
I think they're still in there, but the plan was to not plan on spending that.
Right, cause we had
Right.
other things that we wanted on that as well.
Well, I think there was just a worry of sales tax collections and meeting budgets, so like, it was, possibly switching firearms and dash cams, and as far as I understand, our plan was to not do those things, or at least relook at it like
Yep.
third quarter.
Well, I agree with, what Will said, you know, it's awful early to be supplementing
A budget?
your budgets and stuff, and, cause I'm not a big believer in supplementing budgets. I figure you did your work, got the budget sent in to us. It just, I realize there's sometimes we have to, but I'm not a big fan every time you turn around, you're supplementing something.
And I think when Ted did submit his budget, I think it was us who cut back on what he submitted, with regard to that too, so, and Ted was, in agreement, but I agree, he was in agreement to go along, with that. It'd be good if we could get that, if it didn't come back at 100%, if we could just get at least the one. Is that an option? I mean,
Well, if it comes back at 100%.
Oh, then you're gonna have to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then you'll get
Wouldn't
two.
have to
Paid
worry,
for.
yeah.
But it can come back in almost 90 and you can still do it with just one laptop,
Right,
right?
yeah, and that would be,
That math is about right, I think.
and that would just
It's
simply
close.
us not purchasing it, therefore there's no reimbursement.
I just, yeah, and I agree on that. I just
Yes.
couldn't remember, we did a lot of reworking after we adopted the proposed budget, so I just wanted a re-clarification of where the police budget was at, what all got moved.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be immediate, and I can do that on my personal time too. I know that we adopted the 2025 budget, and then we reworked, and then we did salaries, and I just didn't know what the final numbers were of where we're at. Off the top of my head.
So I guess I'm looking for permission to apply.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll make a motion that we give Ted permission to apply for the grant.
I second that.
Discussion. Anything else added to it? Motion is made and second to allow Ted to go ahead and apply for the Homeland Security Grant. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No, opposed, no. Motion carries.
Hopefully we get it all.
Do we 100% or nothing?
But see, that's what I was,
I didn't know if that'd be too different.
Well, 100%, or if what they're offering you allows you to buy one,
Where the
Laptop.
math would work, where it's,
Yeah.
okay.
does that make sense? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
that's what I meant.
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, just because I was looking at this, machinery equipment, we have 14,100 allotted to our budget. That was that other line item that I talked about. So however we use that dollars is for, which some of it is repair, probably already. So,
I got one question.
Yeah,
What's your update on your police stickers? Cause I'm tired of getting asked about it. I talked to Landon, I'm tired of getting that
I
jumped.
talked to Landon, and, I had asked the vendor, when we got the car back, I was in communication, I said, let's just wait till it's fixed before we put them on. She had ordered them and they're in, she has them. Once I got the car back, I told her, got the car back, and she had told me possibly last week, but had warned me that it was nice out and was gonna be busy, and or this week, and I haven't heard from her about this week.
Well, hopefully she can get them on, then I don't have to keep answering that.
Yeah.
Does she need a warm shop?
I,
Can make room if need be.
I assume,
Oh, yeah, I'm sure she
She's-
does.
Well, yeah.
well, yeah, I assume she does, but she hasn't mentioned needing our facility, so I assume she has a place, but, so I'm basically waiting on the vendor, which I've been in
Yeah.
contact.
Okay, thank you.
You betcha.
Okay, so with regard to the motion, we're going for 100%. Anything shy of that, then we're going to, if we can get one laptop, then we'll go with the one laptop.
Yeah.
Is that's the understanding, okay? I don't know if we have to I just wanna, make sure that that's part of the motion, even though it wasn't stated, but we talked about it. So clarification, okay. Okay with that.
I almost, if it would come back at 90 even though, would be
And 90 would basically,
$2,500, I wouldn't have a problem.
Yeah.
90 basically figures in that if you have to cut off that laptop, is what Will was saying.
Yeah, if you get 90, you can still do it, you just get one laptop and you don't have to add to the budget.
Yeah, and I'll just math it out
Make that
to
judgment
know
call.
what
Get
that
what you
number
can,
is.
yep.
And if it's anything less than that, then I just have to tell them no.
I have a feeling it's either gonna be all or half, or, it's,
Yep.
to throw out a random percentage would probably be a little weird for the grant process, but
Hopefully it's all.
hopefully it's all.
It'd
Yeah.
be very nice.
Okay,
Any other questions?
No.
Awesome.
Thank you.
thanks, Ted.
You
Thanks.
betcha.
Okay, Terry's gonna talk about the water sewer pickup truck.
I guess while I was gone, Gordy's pickup went to heck on him, and it's not worth fixing. And we did budget for a different pickup this year, and guess we're just looking for okay to purchase something, whether it's a new one off state bid or a used one.
Okay.
I don't know if you wanna give us go ahead to do it, or the committee, or how you wanna do it.
Well, anything over 50,000, we have to put it to bid, right?
Right.
To bid, yeah,
Unless
we-
you
we-
buy off state bid, then you can, it's already been bid.
Yeah,
okay,
and we're right at 50, so.
okay.
How would you like to do it?
What's that?
How would you like to do it? What do you wanna do?
Well, we was kinda looking at something like this, if we could find a good used one,
Sure.
Sure.
because, we got pumps and stuff that we could use that on. I mean, you go buy a new pickup, but it still isn't gonna have a service bed on it like Mid-Dakota's got. And if you buy something like that brand new, they're pretty spendy. They're more than what we put in the budget, so
Sure.
I was thinking a used one, or if we find a good used one.
Was that the site you showed me that day?
Yeah,
Is that one
Yeah.
still available?
I don't know, I'd have to look.
Okay.
Cause they come and go pretty fast on them sites.
We're
Yeah,
budgeted at 50, is that what we are?
We're at 50, yeah. But otherwise, you can go get used pickups like that for half that,
Sure.
that's just a picture,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess,
I'd rather get something like this if we can find it, but if we can't, we're gonna have to do something before spring,
Yep.
before it starts getting busy. We can probably get by until then. So, I don't know if you wanna
I guess I,
do it with the committee, or you want us to do it, or both, or,
I think if you're not in a huge rush to get it,
yeah, I wanna look. I
take
don't
your
wanna,
time and let's get what you want.
But-
need.
But, you know, sometimes when you find something like this, you gotta jump on it if it's the right
Yeah.
price.
I'd make a motion that you open up the ability to Terry to purchase a truck for $50,000 or less with the emphasis on a work style truck first. And we've already had that conversation. You want that priority, and if you're gonna build, if you're trying to
Yeah.
find a box or something, some of them work boxes are a year out.
Yeah,
You know.
and I talked to Mid Dakota, if I would've called them a little sooner, we could've got one of theirs, used ones, that had the box on it, but they already sold them.
At least that motion would give you the authority of if you found something like, yep, that's exactly what I want, and it's in the price budget, then you can do it. and-
Cause we really don't need a new one for running around town, you know?
Right.
Yep.
But if you get one that's like this, they're about like buying a new one, that's a regular pickup, you know?
Yep,
Cause these are 200,000 brand new,
yep.
so.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Discussion. Hearing none, motion is made and second to authorize Terry to purchase a pickup for the, up to the purchase limit of $50,000. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Okay, on the third item is the water sewer iPad, the mapping system, that's up on page 15. And I know there's a box highlighted in there, and, but I'll let Terry explain.
Actually Cindy talked to the guy on
Yeah.
that.
Okay, and it gets down to gauge and stuff, so.
So originally, when we started looking at this, we were looking at Terry's phone, cause he has the mapping thing on it. And that's at 256 gigs, right? So then I sent the specs over to Jade at Infotech to get his opinion as to what size of, how many gigs we need on an iPad to run the same. And he suggested we go with the 512 gigabyte,
So the next one down.
the next one down.
Yeah.
As you can see, this Johnny Portillo with Verizon says that the M2 and M4s have the higher and newer processors, therefore they'll load faster.
Okay.
We already have an 11-inch screen with Terry's or iPad he has now, so that's why we're looking at another 11-inch. It's probably big enough.
And that would help, there's two computers we wouldn't have to buy when we do an upgrade because they're outdated. So one iPad's way cheaper than two computers.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that way they can take it with them and get the map wherever they're at. Instead of running back here, looking it up on the computer.
And we would probably use it for fuel purchases out the airport
Okay.
Oh,
to run the credit cards on it.
yep.
That'd work.
So we figured that'd probably be a better option than, plus the new time cards are gonna, you can use
Yeah,
that on there too, I
Once we
think.
get converted over to the cloud, timesheets are going to probably be, it's called Time Tracker. It's within the system. Everybody has a login and it'll be a new way of doing timesheets, but that can be on the iPad too.
Good.
Okay.
Okay, so you just need a motion to
Yes.
approve it? I move to approve it
Second.
for the 512.
12, okay, that's what I was gonna clear. So the
Yeah.
motion is made and second to purchase the 512 gigs for the amount of $1,299.99,
It's only
correct?
200 more, so,
For 200 more, so.
yeah.
Motion is made and second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now, website site quotes, and that's found on page 17. It's
Number 4.
Number 4. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's Helms and Associate invoice number 35316 for $2,548.81. Thank you. And that's just more or less for the reconstruction and access road design for the taxiway.
I move we pay Helms and Associates invoice 35316 in the amount of $2,548.81.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, motion is made and seconded to approve the Helms and Associates invoice number 35316 for the amount of $2,548.81. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Website quotes now, that's found on page 17. Go ahead, Cindy.
So I've been looking around a little bit about cost on websites. Right now, Civic Plus hosts our website, and they increase our expense by 5% every year regardless. Nothing about our website has changed, nothing has been upgraded. So when 44i reached out to me, and they're out of Sioux Falls, and they said, we can build your website specific to what you need, and it'll have all the same capabilities you have right now, but we lock your price in, and that's what you pay forever, unless you need another upgrade.
Oh, wow.
So come this time next year, it'll already be less than what we pay Civic Plus.
How much, changes to information on the website are you able to do at that price? Like, you can,
How much changes to information
as far as you can
talking
keep
update?
updating, it's not so much just blanket information, you can update whatever you want as
Yeah,
far.
we can still put everything on there and make the changes we want. I'm talking updates as far as,
There's
when
building.
there's law changes, like ADA compliance. Or if we need to, the new great thing coming down the line that nobody knows about yet. That's something you'd have to pay for. Like T South Dakota has 44i. They've had it for a long time. They're still only paying $500 a year. So they locked this in a long time ago, but they are having to upgrade finally.
So it's basically the money is for them to initially build it, and then it's just server hosting
Yep,
after that.
yep.
Wow.
Seems
What do we pay now?
Right now, this year, we're gonna pay $2,870.91.
And next year it'll be
You add
5%.
5% onto that, and it's already gonna be above the 2988 quote from 44i.
Let's do that then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Make a motion
switch, or
to,
what are you looking for?
Yep,
make a motion to switch the websites to, 44i.
I'll second.
Discussion? And that's gonna be at a cost at $2,988,
a
correct?
year. Yep.
Okay. Have a motion, has a motion, a second discussion. Hearing none, motion has been made and second to change website to 44i for the amount of $2,988. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Swimming pool project update. I know Patrick has some input, and since our last meeting, I've been in contact with the Deputy Finance Officer at April Fitzgerald and Clark, and then I reached out again to Christy Honeywell. I think one of the good things about them with regard to, those are two of the other ones I visited with regard to, that has pools with Burbach, and, you know, just more or less collaboration between the entities. You know, we're just more or less able to help each other out with regard to, you know, what to do, what not to do, and so I appreciate the working relationship and the conversations we've had with not only those two, but others too as well. Patrick?
After we talked last about it, we basically come to the conclusion that we need to get something figured out to move forward. Right now, we're just talking back and forth and not getting anywhere. So I reached out to Burbach to get acquainted with them, since no one here on this council has actually ever talked to them. The previous rep for this area hasn't been at Burbach for 2 years, so I ended up talking to the chief engineer and had a very good conversation, and explained our situation of no one was here and whoever is still here wasn't included. So we have this contract that's signed, but we've never actually have a business relationship with them. He agreed. They expedited talking to us, got me in touch with Shannon, who is South Dakota's rep, and they were motivated that they want to do a face-to-face meeting with the city council and water department and any other department that needs to, and do a site visit and just resell their company to us, just so we have quote buyer's approval, as far as we just this council gets to make that decision and go through with them. So that's what we're waiting on now, is we're scheduling a face-to-face visit where they're basically gonna resell themselves, and then we can make our decision and start moving forward, at least getting a project estimate up to date, so we know exactly what we're looking at. The last bid estimate that we did in the contract was in 2022 and not 2020, so actually I think as though the prices might actually be a little closer than we anticipated. I know when we were talking about it, I thought it was 2020, and we knew that the price was gonna be going up from then, just with COVID pricing. But then I looked at it, it was actually, an estimation was built in 2022. And there was also money in there for inflation and project increases built into that price. So I'm thinking we're actually pretty close on the contract price, but we just need to get a to-date pricing and iron out any details, but ultimately meet with Burbach and build that relationship up with them.
Did they indicate to you when, just nothing's concrete, but the proximity they'd like to get together?
I spoke to
timeline.
Shannon last week, and they wanted to be able to do it within the month. So we're expecting pretty shortly, as far as them coming from Wisconsin and getting stuff going.
Okay.
Then at least after we meet with them, then we can make a decision on if we wanna move forward with Burbach or start from the ground up with someone else.
Okay. Any questions? Just for the record, Christy Honeywell from Piers, our city administrator. So I visited with her. Anyway, okay? Anything else? All right. Ball Park Storm Shelter Review. We had a committee meeting tonight. Does somebody want to?
We had the Roger and Mr. Runge here and received the update, excuse me. And the next item on your agenda is the grant. And we found out that the brick grant has to be put in by February 14th as a deadline, so we have to act on that tonight. The other grant, the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, that grant would not have to be put in until May 30th. So I think what we need to do is, you've got the grant application in your packet. Alls we need to do is change it from Hazard Mitigation Grant Program to Brick Grant Mitigation, or Brick Grant Program, so that they can go ahead and put that in this week yet, so we can beat the February 14th deadline. And there was talk of doing both, but I think we're gonna wait on the one and just put this one in for now. And they gave us an update on the size of the building. And I had those on the other deal, but that's fine, we don't need all that. But you can see it up there, what they're looking at. And one of the things was moving the family room you see in the center there from over there in the bathroom area into the big storage room. There, it's there now. And that was gonna make a bit of difference on the number of people you could get in and make the grant process look a little better, because you had more people who could fit in that room.
Sure.
So, and we also talked about possibly framing in the bleachers that are there, the grandstand that's there at the Ball Diamond, taking a look at that. We're gonna have somebody from here and come take a look at that and give us some ideas of what we may or may not be able to do with it. And that would help alleviate some of the storage that we won't have if we go with this new building, because we can't have a lot of stuff in the safe room. So that's what we're looking at right now. So if you want to go to the,
Who drew up the plans for this?
HKG and Architects out of Aberdeen, Dean Marski.
and they had a copy, you probably have a copy of that, don't you? The one that they had.
The adjusted plan has room for 190 people.
Yep.
What they had figured.
And when they moved that, also when they moved that family room, they could have a 3 foot 4 inch, kind of an alleyway, if you will, between the men's and women's, so they could get in to work on the plumbing.
Yep.
So that is huge, I think.
There we go.
That was a good sell point for me. I've got the same problem in a building.
The new building also is gonna be about 12 foot, or excuse me, like 22, 23 feet longer and 7 foot wider
Than the existing
than
building?
the existing.
No. Well, with the overhang.
Yeah, with the overhang.
If you ignore the
Yeah.
overhang,
Yep,
Basically 12 foot of building longer and a
Yep.
little wider.
yep,
7 foot wider.
yep.
So what we need on action is to move resolution 2025-2, appointment of applicant agent for BRIC grant program.
Like, how much is the BRIC grant? Just so I have an understanding of the project, is like the BRIC grant a good portion of the project, or just so I know the structure
They've
of,
got $2 million in that account that, in there they can give out.
to different projects?
Yeah.
So then that, if we were awarded that, that'd pay for the brick in the structure.
Yeah, no, that just happens to be a coincidence.
Yeah,
Yes,
Brick is an acronym.
BRIC
I
stands
asked
for,
BRIC.
Leanne to spell it out for us, how much we would be responsible for. That highlighted portion can be in-kind work as well, so it doesn't have to be all cash.
Okay,
we got our in-kind guys here, 3 of them.
Yeah, look at
There
that.
you go.
okay. So this then, other people are paying for 85% of the building.
Yes.
Well, that's a lot of free building.
You know?
Well, build in those unexpected things too, though.
Right. I guess I'd make a motion that we apply for the
Resolution.
resolution 2025-2 for the BRIC grant.
I'll second it.
Discussion? So I'm gonna read the application as it entails. The resolution 2025-2, resolution for appointment of applicant agent, and that will be,
Whoever you guys assign. Usually it's the mayor.
okay? So we'll do that. For the building, resilient infrastructure and communities, which is the BRIC is BRIC, the acronym program. Whereas the city of Miller is submitted a BRIC application for the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the state of South Dakota. And whereas the city of Miller is required to appoint an applicant agent for the purpose of signing documents and assuring the completion of all application documents. Now thereas be it resolved that the city of Miller appoints the mayor as the authorized applicant agent, and more or less passed, approved, and adopted this third day of February 2025 on a motion by Patrick and seconded by
Gail,
Gail.
I think.
All in favor of resolution 2025-02, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Okay, the next thing up is number 9, a NECOG review. That's on page 19 to 23, and I think there's a portion in there that has for Han County. And what page is that on?
Page 22.
Page 22. And it just shows all the recent application, the last 12 months, what was pending, denied, withdrawn, and then those things that are approved. So that was for that timeframe. Any questions?
Now that was withdrawn because we got, principal forgiveness, correct?
I wanna say part of that was because of the ARPA funding we had, and we were able to double our money on that by applying for DANR versus rural development.
Do you need any action on this?
I would like to have a motion to accept the NECOG review as
So moved.
Second.
discussion. Hearing none, motion is made to accept the NECOG review that was submitted. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Discussion. Hearing none, motion is made and second to approve bills. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Move to adjourn.
Okay. Second. All in favor say aye.
Goodness,
So adjourned.
just came on.